Lun Cheng-ying hits back at critics at a public forum. No ban on poultry imports despite bird flu scare in Guangdong. And severe flooding in various states in America.
Good evening. The Guangdong woman who tested positive for H7N9 bird flu remains in critical condition tonight. Meanwhile, Hong Kong has promised to step up inspection of imported poultry. But as Evelina Long reports, there's still no plans to ban poultry imports from across the border.
The 51-year-old chicken vendor from Huizhou is still being treated at the first affiliated hospital of Guangzhou Medical University. Authorities say she's still suffering from respiratory problems. Her condition has neither improved nor worsened in the past 24 hours. Health officials said there have not been any signs of human-to-human transmission of the virus so far. Here in Hong Kong, Secretary for Food and Health Ko Wing-man stressed the government will step up surveillance and control measures to prevent the possible spread of H7N9 here. But he said there are no plans to stop the import of live chickens from the mainland just yet, in accordance with existing policies.
If there is a place in mainland China with a positive H7N9 infection established, then all poultry farm or processing plant for frozen meat of poultry within a diameter of 13 kilometers from this particular place will suspend the import to Hong Kong.
The health chief pointed out that no such farms or plants in Huizhou supply live poultry to Hong Kong. Ko is heading to Beijing this evening to discuss a series of issues with mainland authorities, including ways to fight the spread of bird flu. Evelyn Lang, TVB News.
Chief Executive Lun Cheng-ying hit back at his critics when he attended a forum in Tin Shui Wai today. He also jumped to the defense of former EXCO member Franklin Lam and Barry Chung, who resigned over separate controversies. And there were chaotic scenes as supporters and opponents of the government confronted each other. Police arrested a number of people. Vicky Kung reports.
Hundreds queued up outside the Tin Shui Wai Community Center today for tickets to a public forum attended by Chief Executive Lun Cheng-ying. All 280 tickets were handed out within 30 minutes. Those who wanted to attend the forum wanted a chance to voice their discontent to the CE. Among them, the Hui siblings who recently graduated from secondary school. They want the government to offer more university places.
I think it is really unfair for us because the university tells us we have to rate some DSE students and high D students to give up their places, so we have the chance to get the college places.
Beside answering questions from the audience, the chief executive defended the police force. He stressed the community shouldn't take advantage of the force-tolerant attitude while carrying out their duties. This was sparked by a row between supporters of the force and those who backed a teacher in protest last Sunday.
It will be indeed a surprise if the government did not take an interest in this matter, which has aroused widespread public concern.
Lang also defended former Executive Council members Franklin Lam and Barry Chung. He insisted there was a lack of evidence in the case involving the sale of flats by Franklin Lam before market cooling measures were put in place. The CE also criticized those who made allegations against Barry Chung about loans he took out, saying that they never apologized for making those accusations. While the atmosphere remained rather calm inside the venue, it was a different story outside. A wall of words here between supporters and critics of the government. Some were unhappy about how the tickets were given out.
It is quite clear 90% of those people who get the ticket are pro-government force.
This woman even lit incense in denouncing Leung.
In fear of clashes between anti-government and pro-government protests, police have set up fences to separate the two groups.
4 people were arrested by the police.
They were arrested first for common assault, and the second and third one they were assaulted for disorderly conduct in public place, and the fourth one was arrested for assaulting a police officer.
Despite the chaos today, the chief executive is expected to attend similar events in the next month or two. Vicky Kong, TVB News.
There were new calls today for transparency in the chief executive's handling of potential conflicts of interest by principal officials. Under new guidelines, principal officials are obliged to report any potential conflict of interest to the CE, who will then decide what to do. Former Civil Service Secretary Joseph Wong said in an interview with TVB that the CE should keep the public informed when this arises. Evelina Lung reports.
The new conflict of interest guidelines have stirred up a hornet's nest after the chief executive's office posted the guidelines on its website earlier this week. Many have slammed Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying for failing to consult the public and lawmakers before releasing the guidelines. The guidelines outline the way the CE will handle potential conflict of interest cases. Today, former Secretary for the Civil Service, Joseph Wong, said the guidelines represent a step in the right direction, but more needs to be done.
If the chief executive has the full confidence of the public, then in a way, it is not unreasonable for him to be the ultimate judge, an ultimate decision maker. But in our present system, the chief executive is not universally elected. He now enjoys a rather low degree of confidence. I don't think it is enough simply to rely on one person in the chief executive to make all the decisions. It will only increase the doubts on the part of the public as to the whole system.
He called on the CE to reveal all declarations of potential conflicts of interest made by senior officials to keep the public informed and boost their confidence in the system. This is especially so for the embattled development chief, Paul Chan.
Since the public already have a lot of doubt over Paul Chan's previous conflict of interest, now if he has declared more conflict of interest relating to his particular job, I think the public perhaps will want to know exactly what they are and why is it that the chief executive still makes a decision that it is appropriate for Paul Chan to continue to deal with the development projects.
Wong has also called on the chief executive to explain the new guidelines to the public rather than simply posting them on the internet. Evelyn Lang, TVB News.
Taiwan's President Ma Ying-jeou today began a key overseas visit, and for the first time, he will make a stopover in New York as the island's top leader. According to Ma's schedule, he'll spend about 2 days in New York before making his way to Central and South America. During the stopover, Ma will meet with New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg and visit his alma mater, New York University, as well as Ground Zero. He will then visit Haiti, Paraguay, and a number of Taiwan's diplomatic allies in the Caribbean. On his way back to Taiwan, Ma will make a stopover in Los Angeles. The whole trip is expected to last about 12 days. This is his 8th overseas visit since Ma took up the presidential office in 2008. To Japan, where supporters and opponents of the controversial Yasukuni Shrine faced off on the streets of Tokyo. Rival demonstrators made their voices heard last night. Several hundred protesters who are against the shrine staged a march, and they were confronted by shrine supporters. Police tried to keep the two sides apart by setting up roadblocks. The confrontation came ahead of the 68th anniversary of Japan's defeat in the Second World War on Thursday. Officials and politicians often visit the Yasukuni Shrine on the anniversary. The shrine houses Japan's war dead, including a group of war criminals, and is seen by some as a symbol of Japan's former militarism. Such visits have drawn the wrath of Tokyo's neighbors, such as China and South Korea.
Heavy flooding has wreaked havoc in the central and western parts of the United States. In one Colorado town, floodwaters hit without warning, causing at least one death. More on that from NBC News.
More than an inch of rain turned turned this roadway into a raging river rushing 25 to 30 miles an hour.
Oh, God.
Torrential downpours hit the area west of Colorado Springs late Friday, causing flash floods and triggering mudslides, sweeping away cars and homes in the tourist town of Manitou Springs.
I have some concerning news to share with you.
Officials today reported one dead, several injured, and 3 people still missing.
We're going to be doing the best to get the city cleaned up so that we can get back to business as usual.
Farley McDonough, owner of a local restaurant, said the storm hit during business hours.
It was very, very scary. My staff had to evacuate the customers to the east side of the restaurant, and there were still plates of food sitting on the table and candles burning.
Colorado is one of 6 states in the Midwest to suffer severe damage from flash floods this week. In central Missouri, up to 9 inches of rain.
There it goes. Yep.
Floodwaters swamped this crane and sent it crashing down.
Oh, no, 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 no.
In Tennessee, residents outside Nashville were forced to seek refuge on their rooftops while waiting for rescue workers. In Arkansas, more than 6 inches of rain, the result of a storm system that stalled over the plains. Back in central Colorado, a break in the rain, revealing the damage. Homes covered in debris, roads no longer accessible. And tonight, flash flood warnings remain in place until later this evening.
It's going to drag you in. It'll rip your clothes off. You just don't want to get caught in that. You don't even want to be anywhere near that.
A man accused of killing a California woman and her young son before fleeing with her 16-year-old daughter was shot and killed by FBI agents in the U.S. state of Idaho. His captive was found safe. 40-year-old James Lee Dimaggio was shot dead after officers participating in a massive manhunt spotted his campsite from the air. The kidnapped teenager, Hannah Anderson, appeared well but was transported to a hospital before being reunited with her father. Dimaggio is suspected of killing Hannah's 44-year-old mother and her 8-year-old brother. The 2 victims' bodies were found in Dimaggio's burning house in California near the border with Mexico. And still ahead in our newscast, subdivided flat tenants face intense heat in the summer. Customs officers crack a smuggling syndicate, and a face recognition system creates a walletless future.
Welcome back. The very hot weather warning is now in force, and a survey has found the room temperature of subdivided flats can be several degrees higher than the air temperature outside, posing health risks, including heat stroke for people living in such places. As Ronnie Samson reports, there have been calls for a special electricity subsidy for tenants to help them cope with the summer heat.
The heat is unbearable, especially in the afternoon, and my kids complain to me, but there's nothing I can do, says Mrs. Jung. Mrs. Jung, her husband, and 3 children live in this subdivided flat in Kwun Tong. The unit measures just under 100 square feet with only 3 small windows. She said in order to save money, she would take her children to a nearby shopping center in order to minimize the use of the air conditioner at home.
It's 33 degrees outside, but in Mrs. Jung's house, it's almost 36 degrees. I've been standing here for less than 5 minutes, and I'm already sweating and finding it difficult to breathe.
The family applied for public housing 6 years ago, but like many others, they are still waiting for a unit. Environmental group World Green Organization says there's an urgent need to help these families, as living in these conditions can affect the residents' health.
According to some medical research, that poses a greater threat and results in a higher mortality rate for aged people and children.
The group spent 2 weeks this summer collecting data on temperature levels inside 20 subdivided flats in areas such as Mong Kok and Kwun Tong. They found that most of the time the temperature inside was higher than the air temperature outside. Yu is calling on the government to help improve living conditions for low-income families. He suggested increasing the benefits under the Comprehensive Social Security Allowance Scheme. He also urged the Commission on Poverty to give a special electricity subsidy to grassroots households to help them cope with the hot summer months. Ronnie Samson, TVB News.
Customs officers have cracked a smuggling syndicate and arrested 7 men aged 38 to 55. Our Stephanie Choi has more details.
Officers have seized 5 million sticks of illicit cigarettes and 5,400 pieces of electronic goods in their week-long operation. The authorities first took action last Wednesday in Sha Tin, where a container truck was spotted unloading illicit cigarettes at a factory building. 2 days later, 2 cross-boundary trucks were intercepted separately at the Mankamto control point. This time, in addition to more cigarettes, suspected counterfeit smartphones and tablet computers valued at $2.2 million were also seized.
I think the success of our enforcement action at the boundary or the importation level, we trust that it is attributed a lot to the implementation of our road pass system. It is a cargo declaration system for the land mode of cargo. Because of this system, we can make use of it to review the cargo declaration history of different vehicles or different importers, different consignee, etc. It facilitates risk profiling on our part.
At a total market value of about $12 million, the illicit cigarettes would have cost the public coffers up to $8 million in lost revenue.
The smuggled cigarettes were put inside these containers made from cardboard boxes stacked up together. And officials said 140,000 sticks of cigarettes were stored in each one of them.
Under the Import and Export Ordinance, the smugglers face a maximum penalty of 7 years in prison and a $2 million fine. Stephanie Choi, TVB News.
Despite efforts to promote e-books at Hong Kong's public libraries, the service has failed to catch on with many readers. As Joelle De Silva reports, many library users ignore them in favor of traditional books.
160,000 different titles available at the push of a button. And no longer do researchers, students or casual readers have to lug around those heavy hardcovers. Since 2001, Hong Kong's public libraries have provided an ever-expanding digital collection of e-books from non-fiction to novels. But at a cost of $700,000 per year to provide this service, usage levels remain low.
From the statistic and from the usage, we find that the reader is still focusing on the traditional format books, like printed books and other audiovisual materials.
And despite 10% of the public library's book fund going to 7 digital libraries, many library users remain oblivious to its existence. This person says she wasn't aware she could borrow and read books and other materials online. And this reader says a friend had told him about it, but he very seldom uses it. Legislator Kenneth Chan believes e-books remain unpopular because the Leisure and Cultural Services Department is not doing enough to push its digital services. But the LCSD says more students are gradually adhering to this format, partly due to promotional activities being undertaken in local schools. Joelle De Silva, TVB News.
All right, Chris, a lot of excitement in that PGA Championship there, huh?
Yeah, last one of the year. Time to do it or go home. The year's final major, the PGA Championship, is up for grabs entering today's final round. But as Jameson Wong shows us, the really big names are nowhere to be seen on the leaderboard.
7 players are within 6 shots of the lead heading into today's final round. American Jim Furyk tops the leaderboard at 9 under after a 2-under 68 on Saturday. Second round leader Jason Duffner followed up his course-tying 63 with a 1/71. He's one back. Masters champ Adam Scott is still within striking distance despite a 2/72. Scott trails Furyk by 4 strokes. But defending champion Rory McIlroy's at 67 may be too little too late. The Northern Irishman is 6 off the lead.
You know, kind of got off to a bad start. I was 2 over and reeling a little bit with my swing, but really stayed patient. Didn't let it bother me. Never really got upset with myself. Never felt like, you know, panicked.
I mean, I'm
Yeah, it's been a good stretch of holes, and I've got another 18 to play, and hopefully I can just keep playing the way I am.
Two favorites will be also rans on Sunday. Tiger Woods is 13 strokes back at 4 over par. And Lefty's at plus 10, but at least he's got the claret jug to drown his sorrows in. Jamison Wong, TVB News.
Usain Bolt won his opening heat in the 100 meters at the World Championships in Moscow. Bolt was obviously saving some energy as he ran the race in 10.07 seconds. That was the 7th fastest time of the night. The semi-finals and finals are later today. Meanwhile, Britain's Mo Farah claimed victory in the 10,000 meters. The double Olympic gold medalist held off Ibrahim Ceylan of Ethiopia in the final stretch. Farah became the first Briton to win a world title in the event. He finished second in 2011.
No wallet, no cash, no problem. That's exactly what a new PayPal face recognition technology offers to help folks who want a future without wallets.
Carrying a wallet is second nature for those of us who work and pay our own way in life. While our bank details and addresses may change over time, much like our thumbprint, our face geometry doesn't. Hence the idea to create a walletless future via PayPal face recognition. England is leading the walletless charge after a third of its consumers admitted if they had to take one thing shopping, it would be their smartphone. This frozen yogurt shop in London is trying it out and says PayPal's new mobile app makes paying on your smartphone a win-win situation.
We've had the PayPal technology implemented in our store for several months now, and we find it really easy to use. It's convenient for both us and the customer.
PayPal's head of retail sales says face recognition works the same way as a bank or credit card.
The app is free to download for consumers and free for a consumer to use. For the businesses, as with any financial transaction, there's a small transaction fee that PayPal will apply.
In fact, technology experts believe that by the year 2016, people the world over will have no use for wallets. Plus, face recognition will help cut down on security risks, such as those committing identity theft.
It's really like a thumbprint or a fingerprint. It doesn't change over time. So if they have your picture now, they could match that with the real you in 5 years' time using the same picture.
And not to worry, cash will always be king for those who insist on paying with hard currency. So the next time you're caught without cash, let your $1 million smile pay the bill.
And that's our show. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Good night.
Everyone. It was very hot and mainly fine apart from isolated showers today. Now at 5 p.m., severe Typhoon Yutor was centered at about 370 kilometers east-northeast of Manila. Today's temperatures range from 27.7 to 33.1 degrees, and the current temperature is 29.8 degrees Celsius. The very hot weather warning is now in force. So Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow?
Oh.
Mainly fine apart from isolated showers. It will be very hot during the day tomorrow. Temperatures will range from 28 to 33 degrees. Tomorrow's API is forecast at 25 to 75 and the pollution level will range from low to high. The maximum UV index forecast for tomorrow will be about 12. Now, here's the latest global weather update. Sunny in Shanghai, cloudy in Xiamen. Sunny in Guangzhou, showers in Chengdu. Showers in Beijing, sunny intervals in Tokyo. Rain in Ho Chi Minh City and Manila. Thunderstorms in Singapore, showers in Jakarta. Rain in Karachi and Mumbai. Sunny in Cairo, showers in Nairobi. Sunny in Brisbane, sunny intervals in Sydney. Showers in Toronto, cloudy in New York.
Cloudy in Vancouver, sunny in Los Angeles. Cloudy in London, Paris and Frankfurt. And that's the weather. Have a great evening.